All right, guys, I got a real true life story for you, and it's my story. It's my real story of when my husband and I were looking to purchase a home a few years ago. So about 3 years ago, we moved from Chicago to Florida, and, just like every buyer, looking at places, things like that. And we went to this one house where the agent seemed extremely anxious and excited to have us there. Like, she was going to accompany the showing. She was going to meet us there. She kept confirming the appointment. And then, she kind of led on to me that the listing was going to expire the following week. So I was like, okay, she definitely wants to sell this now before she loses the listing. So we go to this listing, and we were looking in this area that was very beachy. Like, we're not really beach people, and we didn't really know this was like kind of beachy. But it was a beautiful home in a great little area of town. And so when we got to the house, I was like, oh, this is really cute. Now, keep in mind, we were moving from a pretty much all in with the basement, 7,000 square foot home in Chicago. So we had a lot of space. So there's 7 of us in our family, 5 young adult girls. So when we got to the house, I knew that it was about 3,700 square feet, first and second floors, no basement, of course. And so I wanted to see how that would live for our family. And I was pretty sure right out of the gate, right when I walked in, that the layout was not going to work for us. And I just knew it because of how we lived in our previous home. Now, it was a beautiful house. It was decorated well. It was a little much for us. Not really kind of our style decorating wise, but it was a very nice house. So when you walked in, it was kind of like one big room. The staircase was in the middle when you walked upstairs, and it just would not serve us. Like it wouldn't work for us. But the agent was like on us, like, I really think this is a great layout for you. I talk about accompanied showings all the time. Like, the only people who really love accompanied showings are the sellers. And the sellers want the showings to be accompanied because they want the agent to explain everything about the house, show them all the pull-out drawers under the cabinets that an agent's not going to see. Like, pull-out drawers are going to make the difference between us buying the house or not. So when we got there, the agent was very talking up the house, so much so I really thought that, I'm wondering if there are cameras in here and she's trying to showcase how much she's trying to show the house. Now, going back and looking over my notes and all of my emails, this agent is very qualified and is a very strong agent. And now I know that, of course, but at the time I was like, wow, is she going overboard on this house? Like, we walked in, we were just kind of quiet. And then she kept saying, well, so what do you think? What do you think? And finally I was like, I don't think there's enough space. And she's like, well, let's go upstairs and take a look. So now remember, there were 7 of us, and this had, I think it was 4 bedrooms. One of the bedrooms was locked. We couldn't even get into. And the others were like small. And she's like, well, you can put, 2 kids here, 2 kids here, and maybe 1 here. And then I was like, this just is not enough room for us. And I'm like, what? I need an office. Where would I put my office? I can't use one of the bedrooms. And she's like, well, you could work outside. I was like, work outside? Yeah. She's like, you could work under the lanai. It's covered there. And I'm like, what? So, the house did not fit us, okay? And I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be polite. And she kept going on, I think this would work. And finally, she says to us, she's like, this location is so good. Your kids can ride their bikes to the beach. And I'm thinking, we're from Chicago. Like, our kids are not beach kids. They're super fair-skinned, don't like sand very much, and have never been on a surfboard and will not get in the water. Most likely, never. So she's like, no, I promise you, they are going to be at the beach all day on their bikes. And now I'm thinking, oh God, now we're going to have 5 bikes in the 2-car garage, which we definitely can't fit. But she was insistent upon how amazing this house was going to be. And so here's the thing. The house was amazing. It just wasn't for us. It didn't matter how much she told us about the wonderful features of the home, about the area, about biking to the beach, about trying to give me ideas on how to make it work. The house didn't work for us. Before I get into it, I want to make sure that you download my seller's planner. It has been downloaded tens of thousands of times. This is the free resource for you, the guidebook, the plan, the timing, everything you need. What should you update? How do you plan? How do you choose your agent? What should you price your home at? It is all in my free planner. So make sure you go to the QR code down below, you go to sellersplanner.com, or the link is in the description. Hope you love it. So no matter how low this home was, the agent could not talk me into it. It wasn't going to work for our lifestyle. As I was really going back and I kind of dug in and did some research on the house and looked at it a little bit further, I thought, this really would make a good video. because I get a lot of people who think that the house should be priced at what they want for the house rather than what the house is absolutely worth in the market that you're in. And I did some analysis on this house, and what I found, and I can see kind of how it happened, is this house had been on the market for about 2 years, 2.5 years when we saw it. Now, here's the interesting thing. So that was during COVID. In 2020, they listed the house for $1.1 million at the beginning of COVID. I mean, the very, very beginning, February of 2020. And most likely they needed to sell, or they wanted to sell, or they wanted to move on with their lives, which is fine. Well, everybody knows what happened. About that time, the market just sort of went, really south. And it was very hard. You didn't know what was going to happen with the market. So now they had just listed their house. COVID happens. And now what are they going to do? So they took their house off the market in May of 2020. And they're probably thinking, we're not going to be able to sell this. Everything's shut down. So they went back up on the market in October of 2020, and they increased their sales price by $150,000. Now, we all know what happened then. Could that have worked? It might have. They ended up taking it off the market by the beginning of the following year. So they decided again they were going to relist the home again later in 2021, in October of 2021. They tried to put it back on the market for $1.6 million. Now, see what's going on is they're like, oh, the market's doing well. We're going to increase our price. Now, could they have sold it at more than that $1.1 million that they started at the very beginning of COVID? Yes. But what they did is they started to overprice for the market because they were like, well, the market's doing great. It should do amazing. And we should be able to get more money for the house. So in January of 2022, they took it off the market. Now, you're not going to believe me when I tell you what happens next, because obviously the market in Florida was going crazy at the time. They relisted 2 months later for $2.2 million. Yep, $2.2 million. And then they took it off the market again 2 months later, and then they relisted it again about 5 months later for $2.5 million. Yes, $2.5 million. This is not a joke. Now, I did not even know this until yesterday when I was like, gosh, whatever did happen to that house? And I go and I look and I'm like, holy cow, this was the history of the house before we got into the house. So now that $2.5 million listing only lasted about a month, and then they decided to take the house off the market again, right? Because now they're like, well, we're not getting what we want, so we're going to take it off the market. And I talk about this. If you are testing the market, you should not be selling your home. Think about the stress. Think about the showings. Think about the agents they had to communicate with, the hiring, all of this stuff. Very, very stressful, right? So now, in the beginning of 2023, they hire a new agent because obviously the first agent was terrible and couldn't sell the house for what these sellers are looking for. If this video is resonating with you, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, whoever's sitting on the couch, who is thinking, well, we're going to test the market. We're going to get a high amount because that's what we want. That's what our house is worth. And then you're going to fire your first agent because the agent is terrible. Now, they relisted in the beginning of 2023 for $1,925,000. And now we're getting to the point where we're starting to look at houses in June of 2023. Now this house is on the market. Usually homes are going to have a 6-month listing. So I'm assuming that the second agent had a 6-month listing agreement. So we went in the beginning of July in 2023. And as I told you, now it all makes sense because these sellers probably did have cameras and probably were saying to this agent, you need to sell this house. You need to sell this house. Now, by the time we got in there, it was reduced to $1,650,000. So that agent did get a good opportunity to reduce the price. So if you watched my videos before, I've talked about this, which is kind of a funny saying, may not always be true, but in real estate it is. So you want to be the first love, you want to be the second spouse, and you want to be the third real estate agent in. And this scenario is exactly explaining that. So the first agent takes the listing, right? And kind of prices it where the seller wants, thinking the seller is going to work with them on the price. Well, this agent had to keep increasing the price. I mean, I would have been like, I'm out. Like, there's no way I'm doing this. I'm out. Anyway, so they must have had some type of a good working relationship because the agent's like, fine, I'll do it. The sellers finally, after 2 years, are like, you know what? You can't sell our house for $2.5 million when we were listed at $1.1 million, just 2 years ago. So we're going to go find another agent. Now, the second agent in usually can get the sellers to reduce the price. And they can say, you know what? I think your price is a little high. Why don't we start it a little bit lower? And she did. She got the price to start under 2, and then she got a huge $300,000 price reduction. So we went in, it looks like about 4 days before this listing expired. So I knew the agent was doing her best, and she did. I am telling you, like, she sold her socks off. Like, I wish I could have recorded this, because you would look at this and you'd be like, the house doesn't work for them. Let it go. But she was trying so hard, I think, to convince the sellers it's not the people, it's not me, it's your price. Now, she, of course, lost the listing because the sellers are thinking, that agent isn't even good. She can't sell it when we're even getting showings. No, honestly, like, that was the best sales job I've ever seen. Really, truly. If I hadn't been an agent, I would have not liked that agent at all. But as an agent, I totally got where she was coming from. And I finally just said to her in the end, I said, listen, the house isn't going to work for us. It doesn't matter what price it is. It's just not going to work for us. So the story, they take the house off the market. House goes off the market for like 5 months, 6 months, something like that. And then they go back on the market with their third agent. Like I said, now the third agent probably was like, listen, you need to get the price down. And by this point, the sellers are like, we just want the house sold. Just get the house sold. Well, again, they started the price too high. So they listed $1,530,000. Now, $1,530,000 is not a good price to be, okay? Because you have people looking up to $1,500,000 and people looking $1,500,000 and over. A little more, they might look $1 million and over. But you have people who have in their search criteria up to $1.5 million. So it's a home that's priced in $1.5 million to $1.6 million, and a home that is priced in $1 million to $1.1 million are the worst price points to be in, because you have cut out thousands of people who do not look over that price point. It's just an easy cutoff. So there's no point to list your home at $1,530,000 or $1,030,000. It really hurts the house. So they started at $1,530,000, and now this agent is good. She's like, we need to keep reducing the price. And she did. She got consistent price reductions. Now, if you think selling your home should be easier, it should be, yes. And it's easier when you have a great partner. And if you have a great partner in your real estate agent, I promise you, your life is going to be so much better and you are going to make so much more money. If you're confused on where to start, you don't know people in your area, you are not sure if you have an experienced agent, we've got you covered. Me and my daughter, Lisa, we go through and we find you the best agents who literally have sold right in your town. So I'm going to be able to provide you the best agents in the area, and then you are going to get to go with your gut. That's it. You're going to decide with your gut, because we're putting experienced agents who have great marketing in front of you. You know you can trust my true certified real estate agents. All you have to do is go down, link in the description, use the QR code, or go to truthandrealestate.com. I've got you covered. The problem is these sellers were going down at minuscule amounts. So she got a price reduction of a total of $15,000 3 months after the house had been on the market. I can imagine what these sellers are like. It's the agent, it's the market, it's you, it's everybody else, rather than understanding what the market was doing. So now they're at $1,515,000, and they stayed at $1,515,000 for 2 more months when they finally came down under $1,500,000 to $1,495,000. Now they kept reducing until they got to $1,450,000 in July of 2024. Now remember, this whole ordeal started prior to COVID. We saw the house 12 months prior to this point when it was in its correct price range. And so I'm guessing by this point, the sellers are in full out trauma. They are in massive trauma. They are trying to figure out how to get their home sold. And they don't realize now, they've been on the market for so long at all these crazy prices, they've hurt their marketing. And that's what happens if you hurt your marketing, if you hurt your home because you've done things that are not in your best interest, and pricing too high and doing these raising of prices really hurts the home. So they did get a contract and it closed for $1,325,000, but it didn't close until August of 2024. When you look at the $1,325,000 and they were listed at $1,450,000, I'm guessing that third agent really had to work to go to agents and say, listen, just write me an offer. Just put anything for me down on the table so I can take it to my sellers. anything at all because she's getting pressure from her sellers. Now, I will tell you, these agents are experienced agents. They know what they're doing. And I'm going to guess that that agent really was able to work with them to get it sold. Now, they're going to say, it was the agent's fault, all of this, whatever it was. But if they had worked with the market sometime during the previous years with COVID, they would have made more money. They would have had less time on the market. They would have had less stress, and they would have had less carrying costs. Now think about this for a second. Let's say when the market was doing really, really well and they had listed at $1,499,000. If it was doing really, really well at $1,499,000, they possibly could have gotten that price, if not above that price. But they didn't understand the psychology of the buyers. They didn't know how the marketplace was going to work. And so they most likely ended up losing money. But realistically, what they did is the stress of having these showings and having to work with agents who you probably don't even like in the end. I can't even imagine the pressure that they were under. And so the story, while on the front, when I was just a buyer, thought it was funny. And we talk about, we're going to ride our bikes to the beach. We're like, we never ride our bikes anywhere. So we're not riding to the beach. Our kids are not riding to the beach. Seeing the dynamics that goes into this, it just frustrates me so much to watch sellers who are their own worst enemies. And they're typically their own worst enemies because they don't educate themselves about the market. They make decisions without getting all of the facts. They make decisions without talking to a number of agents and listening to them and their guidance. So now if you are watching this video, it's because you are educating yourself. Now, I want you to think about this. Are you educating yourself and listening to what you're hearing here? Are you watching my other videos? Are you subscribing? Are you downloading my planner? Are you asking me for an agent? Are you joining my Facebook group? Are you joining my live Q&As? Are you doing any of that? Or are you just listening to me and saying, she's full of it. She doesn't know what she's talking about. I will tell you that these sellers who have the worst experience, who are losing money, not to mention the stress, are the ones who have an agent come out to their house and they're like, well, I don't like the price they gave me. Their comps are wrong. They don't know what they're doing. Our agent is terrible. If you have heard a price that you don't want to hear, that's on you. Like, that is on you. And if you choose to do these things that are outside of what an agent recommends, that's on you. That's not on your agent. So I know I'm being kind of mean, maybe a little bit. I don't know. I get so frustrated when I watch sellers who literally all they have to do is just take a little bit of advice, but they don't, because they don't want to hear what an agent has to say, because I think agents are stupid. Okay, there might be some stupid agents, but you have a lot of really, really good agents out there, really great agents who are going to help you make more money, have less stress, and are going to take you into a place where you should be in your journey. I had a seller email me yesterday, and this has been 8 months of trauma, getting their house ready, decluttering, doing all of this stuff. She said, I cannot believe that this was as painful as it was. I can't imagine where I would have been without your help. I can't imagine how much harder this would have been without your playbook, without your Facebook group. And I sent her a note back, and I said, right, this is why I have a big YouTube channel, because there is a need for this out there. There are things that you guys don't know. And I hate to stand up here and preach this. I do. I hate to, talk about this all the time, but I just saw this yesterday with another seller who went and purchased a home without even thinking about his current home. Didn't think about how much could he actually get for it, because he's like, we're going to go purchase this and then I'll just sell that. But now he's going to be underwater. He's going to be underwater on his current listing, because he didn't find out how much could it really sell for. What if it can't sell for what I want it to be? What am I going to do? And so now he's in this position. So this is what I want you guys to do. Honestly, I'm here for you. I give you so many free resources. I want you to download my seller's planner, join my Facebook group, subscribe to this so you can make sure that you get all the videos that you want popping up for you. Join my live Q&As. Actually, you can only join my live Q&As if you download the planner, because I don't put that out there. I just put you on my email list. So you can join the live Q&A. I'm going to be releasing my book. I'm so excited about this. It's coming out in the fall. It's called Sell Your Home Without Blowing Up Your Life. I'm going to have the ability for you to pre-order and to have a lot of additional bonuses. There's going to be an update class. You're going to get access to all of my videos. So I want you to watch for that. I've got my landing page where you can go and you can look for all of that as well. And if you need an agent, you know where to go. I've got my true certified agents that we have refined this process. We are finding agents from all over the country who literally are right in your neighborhood. So these are good agents. We're finding you great agents. We want you to have that partner when you're looking to sell your home. You guys know I'm here for you. I really want to help you sell your home without blowing up your life. I'm Kati Spaniak, and this is Truth in Real Estate.